Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, where love stories go beyond the screen and reveal the real emotions behind your favorite stars. Today, we're diving into a story that's both heartwarming and deeply inspiring, A Home Built on Love, How Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung balance fame and family. It's a story that proves that even under the brightest lights and loudest applause, what truly matters is love, trust, and the small, quiet moments that build a lasting family. When the world first saw Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung together on screen, it felt like destiny had quietly introduced them, two souls with shared dreams, matched hearts, and the same calm strength that could only come from understanding each other deeply. Years later, that connection would turn into something far more meaningful, a marriage that would captivate millions and inspire hope for true love in an industry often filled with fleeting moments and hidden pain. But behind their smiles and the soft, glowing pictures that fans adore, Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung's journey as husband and wife, and now as parents, has been one of both beauty and challenge. Their story begins after the storm, when public scandals and media noise once tried to pull them apart. It was during that silence, away from the spotlight, that they found something stronger than fame, the peace of being with someone who truly understands you. When Bo-gum enlisted in the military, Yoo-jung stood by him quietly. No statements, no public declarations, just patience. She wrote to him often, sending small reminders of home, like photos of their shared memories and messages that simply said, "We'll get through this, one day at a time." Those quiet moments became the foundation of their unbreakable bond. And when Bo-gum returned, with the same smile, but wiser eyes, he didn't just come home to his fans, he came home to her. Soon after, they made a decision that would surprise many but felt natural to them, to start a family. Their marriage wasn't about glitz or glamour. There were no massive announcements or red carpet events. Instead, it was an intimate ceremony with family and a few close friends. It wasn't the headlines that mattered, it was the promise. The promise that fame would never come before family. Yoo-jung, with her grace and maturity, found strength in simplicity. She began choosing projects that allowed her to spend more time at home, roles that spoke to her heart rather than her career ambitions. And Bo-gum, ever the gentleman, began balancing his global schedule with quiet mornings at home, making breakfast, reading bedtime stories, and taking long walks with his child in the park. Their neighbors once revealed how Bo-gum often carried his little one in his arms, smiling as he pushed a stroller while Yoo-jung trailed behind with their dog. It was a simple image, but one that fans could never forget. Behind that famous face, Bo-gum was not just an actor. He was a husband, a father, and a man who had learned that real success is coming home to laughter and love. But balancing fame and family hasn't always been easy. There were days when their schedules clashed, long filming hours, back-to-back shoots, and press tours that kept them apart for weeks. Yet, even in those moments, they made one rule: never let a day end without hearing each other's voice. Their nightly video calls became sacred, even if it was just to say goodnight. Sometimes Yoo-jung would fall asleep on call, and Bo-gum would whisper softly, "You worked hard today, my love." It wasn't about perfection. It was about effort, choosing love even when life gets loud. And when Yoo-jung returned to filming after giving birth, she admitted in one quiet interview that motherhood had changed how she viewed her career. She said softly, "I used to act to be seen. Now I act to express, because someone at home reminds me that I'm already enough." Those words touched fans deeply, especially those who had followed her from her child actress days. It wasn't just growth in her career, it was growth in her heart. Meanwhile, Bo-gum's latest interviews reveal a man transformed by fatherhood. When asked about how becoming a dad changed him, he smiled and said, "It taught me patience, and it taught me joy in small things, like hearing my child laugh or watching them take their first steps. Those are the moments I live for." Even on set, Bo-gum carries that gentle energy, always kind, always grounded. Directors have shared how he keeps photos of his family on his phone's lock screen, reminding himself of what truly matters after every scene. Behind the flash and fame, their home remains peaceful, a space filled with music, laughter, and quiet nights. They spend weekends cooking together, hosting family dinners, and enjoying nature away from Seoul's constant noise. And as much as fans want glimpses into their private life, both Bo Gum and Yoo Jung have mastered the art of balance, giving their audience love through their work while protecting their personal world. Their love story is not the dramatic type filled with breakups and scandals. It's the kind that grows quietly, the kind that endures. It's about waking up next to the same person every day and still saying, I choose you. Bo Gum once said during a fan meeting, true love doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to last. And fans couldn't agree more. Years have passed since they first met, yet their connection still feels like a scene from a timeless drama, gentle, real, and filled with sincerity. Now, as parents, their journey continues, teaching each other the meaning of balance, love, and unwavering faith in one another. It's not just about fame anymore. It's about family. It's about building a home, one smile, one hug, and one quiet moment at a time. And that's the beauty of Park Bo Gum and Kim Yoo Jung's story, proof that love doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Their life reminds us that no matter how far you rise, what truly matters is the heart you come home to. This is K-Drama Cycle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more real stories behind the stars you love. As their story continued to unfold, Park Bo Gum and Kim Yoo Jung's life together only grew more meaningful. Theirs was not just a fairy tale romance, but a partnership that matured with time, rooted in respect, love, and shared purpose. Fans who once admired them as on-screen lovers now saw a deeper bond, a love that had gracefully evolved from friendship to family. The public might have called them the dream couple, but to those close to them, they were simply two humble souls who built a quiet life far from the chaos of the entertainment industry. In the early mornings, before the sun rose over Seoul, Bo Gum could often be seen in the garden, holding a cup of tea while watching his child play. It was in those still moments that he often found peace. He had always believed that fame was fleeting, but the laughter of his family was eternal. Yoo Jung, on the other hand, often spoke about the little joys that kept her grounded. She said, there's a different kind of happiness when your child calls you mom. It makes everything else fade away. The pressure, the fear, the exhaustion. It's the purest form of love. She had taken a short break from acting after childbirth, not because she was forced to, but because she wanted to be present for every milestone. The first steps, the first words, the first smile that mirrored Bo Gum's warmth. As the years went by, both began choosing projects that reflected their new lives. Bo Gum leaned into roles that mirrored his own transformation, stories about family, redemption, and love's quiet strength. Meanwhile, Yoo Jung took on more emotional roles, often portraying mothers or women rediscovering their purpose. Critics praised her for her newfound depth, noting that her performances felt more lived in, more human. And when asked what inspired that growth, Yoo Jung simply smiled and said, life gave me something real to hold on to. Their child, now a lively toddler, had become the center of their world. Both parents tried their best to protect their little one from the media, but every now and then, fans would catch glimpses, a soft laugh in the background of a live broadcast, or a tiny hand appearing in one of Bo Gum's accidental photos. Rather than exploiting that curiosity, they chose to lead by example, proving that fame could coexist with privacy as long as boundaries were respected. It was that maturity that made fans adore them even more. One evening, during a live fan meeting, Bo Gum opened up about how much fatherhood changed him. He said gently, when I hold my child, I realize what love truly means. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about waking up every day and wanting to be better, not for yourself, but for them. The crowd went silent. There was a kind of authenticity in his words that resonated deeply, the kind that only comes from lived experience. After that moment, fans began referring to him as the nation's ideal father, not just the nation's actor. And beside him, Yoo Jung was praised for her quiet elegance, the woman who stood beside him through every storm, never seeking attention, never craving validation, simply loving him as he was. At home, life was as ordinary as it was beautiful. On Sundays, Bo Gum cooked breakfast while Yoo Jung read storybooks to their child. They would often end the day watching old dramas together, sometimes even rewatching Love in the Moonlight. When their child saw them on screen for the first time, they giggled and asked, "Is that really you too?" Bo Gum smiled and replied, "Yes, that's how we met, in another time, another story." It was a moment that melted Yoo Jung's heart. She later admitted to a close friend, "Every time I look at him, I still see the boy who held my hand on set for the first time. And now, he's the one who holds our family together." Despite the years of speculation and scrutiny, their love had remained pure, untouched by the drama that often consumes celebrity couples. They were living proof that true love doesn't need to be loud to be lasting. When Yoo Jung returned to filming, Bo Gum became her biggest supporter. He would send her flowers on set with simple notes like, "Proud of you. Always." And when Bo Gum traveled for overseas fan meetings, Yoo Jung made sure their child waved at him during video calls, shouting, "Appa," fighting. Even through distance, their love never wavered. In an emotional interview years later, Bo Gum reflected on how far they had come. He said softly, "There was a time when everything felt uncertain, when fame and pressure almost took away what was most important. But Yoo Jung never gave up on me. She reminded me that home isn't a place, it's a person." Those words quickly went viral, spreading across fan pages and social media like wildfire. People admired not just his humility, but his honesty, the way he spoke about love as something sacred, not performative. And when Yoo Jung was asked what love meant to her, she said simply, "It's when two people grow in the same direction. Not faster, not slower, just together." Now, as they continue to navigate life as parents, actors, and partners, they've become a symbol of balance in an industry known for chaos. Their love story has become a legacy, one that reminds everyone watching that behind every shining star is a story of patience, growth, and a home filled with love. Because at the end of the day, Park Bo Gum and Kim Yoo Jung aren't just the actors who once made hearts flutter on screen. They're the couple who prove that fairy tales can be real when love is genuine, loyal, and kind. And perhaps that's why their story continues to inspire not just fans, but everyone who still believes in forever.